Hey guys, Heavy Arms 45. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed those two videos I put out yesterday. I am not the best at doing this right now with my new time schedule. Like I said in the other videos, some things got shuffled around. But I figured I'm gonna be serious this time. There there was some stuff that happened last week dealing with Trump having a nice little meeting with the world, and he made some suggestions of what people should do. And after he made these suggestions and said what him and his people going to do, he went home. He went to the White House. He sat there and relaxed as his people who love him so much went out and tore up the Capitol building in hopes of, from what I'm understanding from Dollar More Daily and other people, kill the vice president for turning on the president because he decided that the vice president has betrayed him, and his people figured that, hey, we should go ahead and hang him, and was planning on actually hanging him with the cords from the media, the electric cords that they get from running off the media. Well, and some other government officials they plan to, and now there's a bunch of different feelings on. And I know you don't want to know my opinion on it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I feel that the whole thing about the whole assault on the Capitol building should never have happened. That is, that was a stupid idea. It was a stupid reason that they actually was able to make it in there. Now, if I remember correctly, the Capitol building is protected by Capitol Police, and I've heard rumors that Nancy Pelosi asked them not to shoot these people. But before that, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've worked as a security guard for some time. Uh, I've done the. I have the until it's expired the license to carry a weapon like the military police, and I've been a security guard. This is the Capitol Police. They're there to protect the Capitol. If I saw a person coming in with guns, and I feel like there's a big group of them, I would have probably opened fire if I hadn't heard Nancy Pelosi say that. And you might ask, why would you shoot a bunch of people who are just walking up? They're just walking up to you. They got guns. And the other reason I would do that is because I don't know if I've said this before, but I live in Memphis, Tennessee. More than 5 years ago, there was a situation where a bunch of people got upset at a Kroger's. And at this Kroger's, there was a security guard. And security guard, I think he was there and he said he had nothing to do with it, or he did have something to do, but he watched as these people who had no weapons in their hands whatsoever, they were just a mob of people, a riot of people, and they proceeded to beat this person to death. I don't remember what was the reason for it, but I do remember it was a mob of people. When I see a group of people upset like that, I would feel threatened. I would feel like I would have to go ahead and whip out my weapon. I'm going to be honest with you. And in that first case, the situation should never happened. Like I said before, they shouldn't have been able to get in there. That is supposed to be a secure facility. It is showing the lack of interest of Donald Trump to let them walk in there because he knew that this would happen. He even cited this to happen because of his meeting that he had just an hour or so before they decided to do this. And these people are just ridiculous, and they're thinking of the government was taken from them. Because, okay, as a kid, you trusted your parents. You trusted everything your parents said because your parents was the person who you had to rely on. They were the ones who gave you your information. They were the ones who made sure you were safe. That's the thing that a parent is supposed to do. So it wasn't until you were mature enough to understand these things that they told you about all stuff that they said to you to try and protect your feelings. And when they did tell you the truth about the matter, you didn't get upset because you understood that they did it to protect you. It wasn't, as we say, they were little white lies. But these little white lies weren't made to keep a bigger lie from you, but to try and keep you in some form of innocence. Trump has no thoughts on your feelings. He doesn't care how you think. All he cares is that you're doing his bidding. There's a lot of people who they don't care what you do. They just care about you doing what they tell you to. And that's what Trump did. And I'm sorry that I'm on this whole thing, but that's the matter here. He's only caring about people doing his bidding. He wanted someone to try and stop the vote, which in the end, they slowed it down, but it didn't get stopped. They still finished up before the night was over with. He makes the whole thing makes an embarrassment of the White House, the Capitol Police, because some of them taking selfies of, and I'm like, you're literally, as a security guard that I've done, if I had anyone breach where I was working at, they would probably find a new guard. You literally let these people walk into your place that you're supposed to be protecting and just trample. It's not like you're covering a bunch of, I'm about to say city blocks. You're covering a building. A massive building, mind you. But it's a building. You patrol the same places all the time. So why is it that you're having difficulty protecting this place and just letting all these people? And you see, I've seen some videos of them letting them out, which was nice of them, but like, you hear people, windows and stuff breaking and stuff like that, and you don't think we need to start. Actually, if you're Capitol Police and you're knowing that a race comes, why is it that all y'all still wearing basically civilian clothes? Most of the ones I saw in there had on a black polo shirt with their Capitol Police badge on, with their black pants and the boots. That's all they had. They didn't have any riot gear. Why? Because they weren't expecting it. And I've heard a lot of people bring up the whole idea of, you saw what they did during the George Floyd situation and the Black Lives Matter. They had people in full riot gear covering their faces and stuff like that on the Capitol steps. No one was able to get in. That place was Fort Knox. But this time, no one had on riot gear. No one was expecting, no one was planning for anything serious to happen with people with guns in their hands. Yeah, that makes no sense to me. If a person comes with full riot gear on, they're expecting you to make a reaction. I'm gonna bring up this story real quick because this has nothing to do with. There was a time where my mom asked me about um feeding our dogs. We had 2 Chihuahuas, and I thought about our dogs, but Toonami was on. Uh, and I knew that she probably wouldn't be home for another hour or so. So I was like, I'll go ahead and watch my shows, and after I get through doing that, I'll feed them then. Well, my mom came home about 30 minutes earlier than I planned. I was still watching my shows. So when she comes home, she starts talking about how I didn't think about dogs. I'm like, I did think about it. And she said, don't you lie to me. I know you didn't think about it. I'm like, I did think about them, Mama. She's like, I know you didn't think about it. And if you lie to me again, I'm going to slap you. Now, I thought about the situation. I'm like, okay. And this was literally probably a 5-second thought in my head before I went ahead and said, yeah, I didn't think about them. The reason why, I thought about it. I know I'm telling the truth. I know I'm being honest. But she doesn't think that I remember about dogs. Well, if I keep saying to my mom that, yeah, I did, she is gonna slap me in the face because she literally thinks I'm lying. If I don't and say, yes, I forgot about them, she's just gonna hit me on my shoulder and tell me that I need to remember about the dogs. So I was like, I really don't want to get slapped in the face. So yeah, Mom, I forgot about it. And as I predicted, she hit me in my arm, told me I need to remember about them dogs. She hit me like 3 times, so I figured that was gonna happen. But it was the reaction I expected. These people came in with their paintball helmets or something like that, masks on in some cases. They were looking for somebody to do something to them. And you had, as I saw, 5 people killed in this situation. That and the reason I'm talking about this is because after this happened, I was on this website called Omegle. I'm sure you've heard of Omegle. And I was just talking to random people. And one of the people, not showing their face, I forget where exactly they were from, talks about this racist black guy shot this black woman during the protest at the Capitol. They call it a protest. I call it a raid. And the reason I call it a raid is because when you're doing a peaceful protest, as they want to keep saying it is, you don't break into a place. Like, literally, they had to go in and break through the windows and climb in and go. I don't know if somebody held the door open for them, but they had to break in. Which, if I remember correctly, breaking and entering is a crime, right? Vandalism, because I remember they took podiums out and they dug into the door saying murder the media. That's a crime, right? Vandalism's a crime. Misdemeanor crime for vandalism, but that included on breaking and entering is federal. I mean, like felony type crime, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think I saw that when I decided to look up DC's views on breaking and entering. And I'm pretty sure that breaking into a government building like that, because you remember they were planning on breaking into Air Force One. I mean, not Air Force One, Area 50, Area 51, Area 57. I forget the number of it. Yeah. So they were planning on breaking into Area 57. And you saw only one person running around there. You know, no more secrets. But the fun thing is, all these people are trying to fight for Trump, but he's not fighting for them. Okay. And I, I don't try to be political a lot of times. I think this is the second time. Well, once a year I might do one political thing because there's just something so atrocious that I saw happen, and I just felt like I need to go ahead and say something. But I wait till it's time for me to do my video because, hey, it's my video. But he doesn't care about these people. He wants to make sure that he stays in office. And there you can speculate on the reason why as much as you want. Some of us say it's because all the crimes that he's committed and all the people waiting for him to get out of office so they can go ahead and put them charges on where he can't pardon himself. Some people say it's because he thinks that he legitimately won and that, he can basically cheat his way into staying in office. Both of them are, I want to say, correct, but which one is the decisive reason? I couldn't tell you. Um, all I know is that dealing with Donald Trump, he he doesn't care about the people who are coming to see him, and having breaking into the Capitol, and probably don't have any homes, be it, and because the reason he says that they're stuck in these having to be kicked evicted from their homes and stuff like that is because Nancy Pelosi wouldn't sign the bill he had. Not saying anything about Mitch McConnell not wanting to sign any stimulus package that would have gave anybody money. But you know, that's how it goes. Trump didn't care about them, but he loves to rile them up. He loves to tell them, and this takes me back to a show that just ended. One of my favorite shows, and it's called Supernatural. Supernatural, you have the story of Michael. Michael, God's favorite son. He's always trying to please God. God, as you see, don't treat Michael like he's anything but a stepson. He doesn't care about him, but all the time Michael's trying to uh, gain God's trust. And I'm not talking about the actual God. I mean Chuck. I'll just call him Chuck. He, Michael's always trying to get Chuck's uh, approval all the way to the end of the show. He's constantly trying to get Chuck's approval, trying to get Chuck to see him as being a good son. I'm a good son, aren't I, Dad? Yeah, you're a good son. And that's how it goes with these people. Uh they're doing this because Trump asked them to do it, but at the same time, and yes, I'm gonna say Trump asked them to do it. They're saying this because Trump asked them to. They're doing this because Trump asked them to do it. They would walk on fire for this man. They would swim across the Atlantic for this man if he asked them to. Why? Because they believe that he is the thing that's going to make America great again. Even though ever since he's been in office, America's gotten worse and worse. Again, you know, and if you're saying I'm wrong, because I know there's probably a couple people saying he's wrong, he has no grip on reality and stuff like that. Tell me one good thing that Donald Trump has done. If you say the stimulus package, that $600, man, most people probably blew through that $600 just trying to make sure they had a roof over their head. And after that, they're back to trying to hope that they can find some way to keep their money together to where they can keep paying whatever bills they have. If they can keep a roof over their head and have a fireplace, they probably better off. They probably burn stuff in their apartments if they have it, just trying to make sure they stay warm. But does he care? No. There's not. He doesn't care about people who voted for him. He doesn't care about people who didn't vote for him. He doesn't care about people who's had his back ever since he first got into the presidency. Because you see how he tried to get rid of Pence. Pence has been his road dog since this whole thing started. He has been his vice president. Sure, they've not seen eye to eye on stuff. Or I don't believe they've seen eye to eye on stuff. But he's still been his vice president. You know, Lindsey Graham just said, as I saw a day or so ago, that he disagreed with what those people did and said he disagreed with Trump. Yeah, he flipped. He flipped hard. He flipped harder than a fish out of water, trying to get back in the water. You know, he flipped. And soon as that happened, all those people that went out there for Trump to try and show how they're going to tear down the Capitol and stop the vote went and started attacking him as he's trying to go to the airport. Sure, they didn't put hands on him, but they sure did act like they the paparazzi telling him how terrible he is and taking pictures of him and all this stuff. You know, they berated him. That's what they did. Does Trump care? No. Why? Because if you're not with me, you're against me. Who else is going to be with Trump? Trump only has approximately 10 more days until he's not president anymore. Can America survive him for another 10 days? Shoot, because of what happened to Capitol, I almost want to say he's not fit to be president just because he's loco. How? Okay, because this is something that I really doesn't make sense to me. How you don't let people tear up your house? Like, how many times have you gone to your mama's house, your daddy's house, your grandma's house, and you just go, you let them come in, and with your parents just being there, your parents let somebody just like completely knock down the walls in their house and don't make them fix it. I know if it was my mom, she tell me that she ain't my maid, and anything that I messed up, I need to clean up myself. I was one of the 3 people in our house that had to wash dishes whenever we ate, and I wasn't even the one to cook. So, how you don't let somebody come? How you going to suggest that people come to your house and tear it up and then don't fix it? And there's no way really of fixing tearing up a part of the house. And I don't mean just like we had a house party and there's a couple cups on the ground. I mean like literally blowing half your house up, because the White House is a part of the house and the Capitol is a part of the house. Both of them are essential places, symbols of America's government. Would he want somebody to come in and tear up the Oval Office, tear up his bedroom, and then just leave? He doesn't care. He literally doesn't care. And I've at the very calm about this because I am angry at the situation, because like a lot of people say, it shouldn't have gotten to that point. It should have never happened in the first place. But because of Trump's lack of mature leadership, I'm not going to say lack of leadership, because he has a form of leadership. It's just amoral and corrupt. But it is a form of leadership. I will give him that. He leads these people around by the nose like a woman who is basically trying to find her sugar daddy. He's leading these people into doing what he wants them to do just so he can basically continue to create chaos. Because the chaos he's done in the last 4 years is just not enough to him. You know, he was voted president in 2016. And from 2016 to now 2021, he is still raising the same hell that he started off with at the beginning of 2016. I mean 2017. Because yeah. So really, and I'm gonna end it here after I say this. Really, what is it that Donald Trump has done? And if you can't name at least three things, name one thing that Donald Trump has done that made America better.